All right, this is part 2 of our worksheet. I'm doing the last problems here. Find the unit vector in the same direction as this vector. Well, let's see what this vector looks like. Well, if I draw this vector, it's over 2, down 2. There's my vector. And if I make a triangle out of it, it's 2 by negative 2, and 2 squared plus 2 squared is 8, which is the square root of 8 right here. I'll leave it like that for now. And my job is to take this and make it a unit vector. Well, right now, the vector is the square root of 8. Or, sorry, the magnitude is the square root of 8. And I want to get it narrowed down to just 1 for a unit vector. So I'm at the square root of 8. I want to multiply it by something, and I want to turn it into 1. So because that's the scale. This is the scale, meaning I can make it larger or bigger. And I want to multiply it by something, get it down to 1. Well, solve that equation, divide both by root 8. Gone. The scale is 1 over root 8. So that's what I multiply by. I take this, multiply it by that, and I take that and multiply it by that. That's all we got to do. So we have 2 divided by root 8. Hey, that's the first number. Well, that's obviously not simplified. Lots of different ways to simplify it. Let's go ahead and multiply it by root 8 to begin with. And I have that. Let's go ahead and divide that out. And I have root 8 divided by 4. But maybe we should have started way back at the beginning with root 8, which is 2 root 2, which is just root 2 over 2. Now, it might have been smarter to simplify there, but that's still the answer. So we have root 2 over 2, and if I do the same thing with a negative 2, it's just going to be negative root 2 over 2. So this is the vector that's on the unit circle because it has a magnitude of 1, and that should be familiar because that's a 45-degree angle. That's literally on the unit circle that we memorized. So your job here is to scale it down to 1. Take root 8 magnitude, turn it into 1, and you get there by multiplying it by that scale right there. All right, these problems down here are exactly the same, number 28. We want to find a vector that has a magnitude of 20. All right, well, we're starting right here. Let's see what this is. I always like to draw the vectors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 6 is way down here. So there's my vector. Let's make it a triangle. It's a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and do 4 squared plus 6 squared is root 52. Well, 52 can be divided by 4. So this is really 2 root 13. 2 root 13. Right now my magnitude is 2 root 13. All right, so I want to take 2 root 13, multiply it by some special number s, and it's going to turn into 20. That's what I'm doing. All right, well, I divide both sides by root 213. Cross that off, and I have s is equal to, what would that be, 10 over root 13. Whoops, I can go ahead and do both of those steps, right? I multiplied it by root 13, put that up there, divided that out. So now this is my scale. So now I'm going to take that and multiply both of them. So I'm going to have 40 root 13 over 13, and I'm going to have negative 60 root 13 over 13. And that's the new vector. This vector right here, this vector has a magnitude of 2 root 13. This vector has a magnitude of 20. But the key is they're both in the same direction. They're both going 4 by negative 6. This is just a scaled up version of that. And you can see it in here, right? 40 and negative 60 is just 4 and 6 right there, just scaled up larger. All right, let's do one more problem on the back. Number 36, a vector with the magnitude v, and they give you the vectors up here. I'm going to rewrite them here. Vector v is 2, negative 4. In the direction of w, well, w is negative 3, 1. So we need this vector in this direction. Let's go ahead and get that direction or that vector drawn. This one is negative 1, 2, 3, 1. There's that vector. Let me make a triangle out of it. Negative 3, 1. What is that? Square root of 10. All right. A vector with magnitude of v, so we need this vector right here. And that's 2 squared plus 4 squared is 20, which is 2 roots of 5. So the direction is this direction. The vector is, or the magnitude is this one, and I need to scale this up. So I'm starting at root 10. Here's the math you do. And I'm multiplying it by this special scale s, and I need to turn it into 2 root 5. All right, well, let's see here. Divide by this is 2, that's 5 over root 10, and that's just a matter of simplifying. However you want to simplify it, lots of different ways to simplify it. I'm just going to multiply by root 10, and I'm going to have 2 root 50, right? Over 10, crosses off is 5. 50 is 25 times 2, so that's 5 root 2 over 5. There's my scale. My scale is root 2. However you get to root 2 doesn't matter. The scale is root 2. So I'm going to go ahead and take this vector and multiply it by root 2. It's negative 3 root 2 and root 2. However, the problem was given as a linear combination, so the final answer would be negative 3 root 2I plus a root 2 of j. You want to put it back into the form you're given in most cases. All right, and that's the same thing. And the key to this problem is right here. You have to start by thinking about trying to find that scale factor.